Hola, hola. It's that time, mi gente. That's right. It is time for Cafecito break. Our Monday morning, Monday evening. Our Monday evening cafecito at 8 p.m. Take a moment right now, mi gente, to share, to like, to comment, to tell a friend, because we're gonna have a spicy conversation here this evening. The battle in New York, mi gente. All eyes are on New York right now as the mayoral race heats up. In just a few moments, you're going to see our little faces. Let's warm up those algorithms. We can't do this without you. All hands on deck. As that song says, it is not too late. All right. Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to Cafecito Break. I'm your host Rosangel Pérez, one of the Pérez sisters, here with my brother Cozy. Hello, Cozy, ¿cómo está?
What's going on? I love the new music. This is great.
Well, I mean, I wonder who, had a hand in producing it.
Yeah.
It's teamwork here. Mi gente, thank you for joining us today. It is some spicy chats. As you know, we are here. We've been focusing here Monday nights, 8 p.m. on the New York election season. Why? Because we've known that sooner or later, you guys would be paying attention to New York City. And maybe you may not be familiar with us. Maybe you don't know who we are, but we represent some of the New York freedom fighters in New York City that have been fighting tirelessly for many years for New Yorkers and against tyranny. I'd like to start with this quote before I pass it over to Cozy real quick, so it could set the stage for today's conversation. All right. This is a quote by Malcolm X. I believe that there will ultimately be a clash between the oppressed and those that are doing the oppressing. I believe that there will be a clash between those who want freedom, justice, and equality for everyone and those who want to continue the systems of exploitation. I'm going to read it one more time. I believe there will ultimately be a clash between the oppressed and those who are doing the oppressing. I believe that there will be a clash between those who want freedom, justice, and equality for everyone and those who want to continue the systems of exploitation. All eyes are on New York City right now. There's a lot of finger pointing happening. There's a lot of shaming, a lot of bullying. We're going to talk about some of these things. But at this time, I'd like to welcome to the show my brother Cozy. How are you?
What's going on? I'm doing good. I'm doing great. Besides the fact that, as New Yorkers here, I feel like they're trying to bully us into voting for someone that proved himself to be a monster. Okay. A lot of finger pointing saying, oh, if you don't vote for Cuomo, you're going to make Mamdani win. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Okay. Imagine telling someone to vote for a sexual harasser. Imagine voting for somebody that was responsible for over 1,000 elderly deaths. Imagine telling somebody to vote for someone that removed religious exemptions from children. Imagine voting for someone that locked down New Yorkers in the most aggressive way and abusive way. Okay? Imagine telling somebody to vote for someone that said, we're not going to make America great again because it was never that great to begin with. Imagine voting for someone or telling somebody to vote for someone that said conservatives who are pro-life and pro-gun should leave New York. You conservatives, you Republicans make me sick to my stomach. You're disgusting. Stop bullying. Stop finger pointing. If Mamdani wins, it's not because we voted for the right person, Curtis Sliwa. It's because the Democrats are extreme, and it's because you conservatives and you Republicans and people who think supposed to be thinking like us, right? Or claim to be the party of freedom, claim to be the people who are independent thinkers, okay, chose to vote for the scumbag that I just described. All those things I listed and much more. You guys are disgusting. Stop it. If you're doing this out of fear or you're being paid off. Okay? It's either fear or paid off. We know the billionaires with their billions of dollars are the gatekeepers and they're putting pressure on you. They're either paying you off directly or you're scared that the money the money's going to stop. Grow a pair and save New York.
Well said. Well said. I'd like to know the folks that are tuning in. Comment in the comments section below. If you are a New Yorker, is your mind made up? Do you know who you're going to vote for? There's a couple of things that I'd like to add that hopefully when Mark comes in later, and special guest today is going to be John Paul Moran from Go USA. We're going to talk about the op score. So we've got a couple of conversations that we'll be diving into today, all centered around the New York City election. And all part of the messages that we'd like to convey to you today is that let's kind of drop some of the labels and talk about common sense. Stop looking at us. If you can stop looking at us who are conservative, independent, and maybe Republican as like just red hat wearing people, that when you look at us like that, it diminishes our potentiality to even have a flourishing conversation, because that has been weaponized against us, against humanity, and getting closer to one another. Can you imagine just the symbol of something red infuriates and incenses some people to the point that they can't even reason? And my friends that have TDS bring Trump up more than I do, and supposedly, I'm all up Trump's ass according to how some of these people view me. Yet if you've seen my content, hardly have we've hardly covered Trump at all this year. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, we're scarlet lettered. When 2020 came and went, somebody like Andrew Cuomo was so happy to be on camera every day, and people fell in love with him because he was so like macho, was commanding, he was telling people what to do. He was a voice of reason, in a sense, during a time where people were very scared, and that voice of reason quickly became a voice of tyranny. And when you go over to the present moment, it's almost like they have amnesia. It's almost like they didn't say what they said to us. It's almost like, hey, it was a mandate, but people didn't have to listen. People didn't have to obey the rules. Yeah, we told people, we were recommending that, they close their shops, so, slow down the spread. But they could do whatever they wanted to do. It was on them. No, I call that bullshit, because there were people that were fined time and time and time again and lost businesses. They lost employees. They lost a lot of money. They lost their livelihoods. People like yours truly, we lost our small business that we had. After 9 years, it was COVID that took us down. And so then, for us to get to the 11th hour in witnessing a disaster that has been created by Democrats, you guys created the leadership. You guys created the disaster that we are seeing in the present moment. You had your Democratic primary. It wasn't just one candidate. It wasn't two. It was several, right? Cozy, weren't there several people who were in the primary? Who
Yeah,
won? Who won by a landslide? It wasn't
exactly.
Cuomo, even though some of you wanted to gaslight, all the mainstream media and the people with big money influence wanted to gaslight the public that Cuomo was gonna just take it. You could have listened to something we could have told you when we're telling our community members, some friends of influence, some people who have the monies, who, ran scared and invested in Eric Adams. We could have told you the people on the streets don't like Eric Adams, not the Democrats, not the moderates, not the Republicans. Were we wrong? What happened? What happened with Eric Adams? He dropped out. So now you're gonna tell us that the man who lost already against Mamdani went to the independent line, that all of a sudden a Republican needs to come and not only disrupt his campaign that he's worked so hard to build, but turn around and betray his base that he's been cultivating, not just 1 year, not just 2 years. You're asking him to betray his integrity of being who he is for over 50 years and is
Disgusting.
serving almost 50 years in New York City. And then the bullying and the shaming that's happening with people who just want our freedom to vote. It's like I cannot even believe this.
Yeah, and the people who really sincerely, right? Like people who are like, "Oh, but you're gonna help elect Mamdani, just vote for Cuomo." Like, what do you think Cuomo's gonna do? Are you that stupid? Did you not see what I just told you he did? What we all witnessed and experienced? What do you think he's gonna do? Do you think he's actually the savior? Why would you put like and like, oh, he's much better. At least he's the lesser of two evils. No, evil is evil. Evil is evil. I don't vote for evil. Okay, and it's not that it's just a lesser of two evils. You have a man with integrity, like you just said, integrity since the 70s, putting his life on the line to protect New Yorkers. And not only that, he had great ideas. When I listened to him during that debate, because this is the first time I've ever heard him debate, I was I was like, wow, he's actually a great debater. Wow, he's actually a good thinker. Actually, he destroyed every single argument. He put them both to shame and he won that debate hands down. So how the hell you have a star? He's a superstar on that stage. He is a superstar of New York and you're going to diss him and say, "Oh, the lesser of two evils?" No, there's two evils and there's a freaking hero on that stage. So why would you lose that opportunity? And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to get him to get him in that seat. Okay, once in a lifetime, because people like this are rare. This is a real New Yorker, real grassroots, and you're gonna freaking diss him and turn your back now on the 11th hour, like you just said, on the 11th hour. You're disgusting. You're the reason why New York is gonna fall.
I am I am disgusted in a way. I think I made myself sick. First of all, I was disgusted with the mayoral debate because there are three people. Since when in history do we focus on the Democrat and the independent? Right?
Never.
Never, never.
He's like, hello, the third party. Hello, ain't I another? Am I
Right. It's
another
always
individual here?
like remember like when we were getting all the stuff, people always get so much BS who run in the independent line because people laugh at them all the time. They're like, oh, you got such a low chance. So so in the debate, it was just Cuomo and Zoram back and forth. And then all of the moderators, it was like they were catering here, honey boo boo here. What would you like to say? What would you like to say?
Yeah,
No,
and
no,
we
Sliwa, we don't want to hear from you. You got 1 minute. Shh, shh. He's just only started talking. He's at 30 seconds and you're already cutting him off. And yet, with all of that sabotaging, people saw Sliwa.
the truth.
People, he was able to go, pew, pew. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
love when you said we have the professional, like the professional loser, and the apprentice. The apprentice. That shit threw me. Like when he said the apprentice, I literally like I died right there. It was so amazing, so amazing, so fitting. The apprentice. He never worked a day in his life. The apprentice. You little boy, get off that seat. You're not hired. We don't want you.
so I want to play this clip that went super viral. I know you saw it, just in case some of you didn't. Is Nate Friedman, who interviewed him and asked him the question that they have been driving Curtis Lee were crazy with. Drop out, drop out, drop out. Or how do you feel that you're going to be the spoiler candidate? Like, ridiculous. They're even calling him like a narcissist. Like, it's just ridiculous. Okay, let's add this to the scene. The spoiler. So let's see what he says. So let's play.
against Mamdani, that you and Cuomo are splitting the anti-Mamdani vote. So my question is simple. Are you okay if Mamdani wins that you, so to speak, contributed to that?
Well, number one, Ackman is a jerk. Has he been right yet? Here's a guy who goes up to Newport, Rhode Island and thinks he's a professional tennis player. Come on, Ackman, stay in your lane. Does he know anything about politics? No. Does he live in New York City? No. He lives in Chapaka, the whitest suburb of America, where even the lawn jockeys are white. He may know Wall Street. He may know hedge funds. He has been wrong every step of the way with the billionaires. So let's say people come to the conclusion, if somehow I lose, and we know Andrew Cuomo's lost, he's already tossed in the town. Oh, it's because of you, Curtis. Because of, really? It's because of the Democrats. Wait a second. Who created Zoran Mandami? Who embraced him? Who nourished him? Who supported him? And how dare you, people who know nothing about politics, suggest that everybody who's going to vote for me is suddenly going to be reborn? We love Andrew Cuomo. He killed all these elderly. He's a sexual harasser. He told conservatives and Republicans in 2014, if you're conservative and you believe in right to life and the Second Amendment, you have no place in New York. You need to leave. This is the result of the Democrats' self-destruction. So I'm supposed to help them? How come they don't help themselves? Andrew Cuomo failed everybody in that primary. He even admitted it. Now he's basically saying, I can't win without Sliwa votes. Where are your votes? Why don't you spend your money and he's got millions from the billionaires? Millions. Go out, get your own votes. Convert Sliwa voters. But for me to drop out, I represent a major party line. I have people running under me, council people, judges. They put their heart and soul into it. They support me. I have more donations than Andrew Cuomo does, matching funds. So you know something? This is called voting. Sure. Since when do we not let people vote? Billionaires determine the next mayor? If they don't like it, they can leave. They have options. Blue-collar working class people don't. Those are the people I'm representing, not Andrew Cuomo. Sure.
Punto.
Excellent. Grand slam. And that's what I love. Grand slam. Because the truth is very easy, right? When you're a liar, when you're manipulative, when you're creepy and scummy and swampy, okay? It's hard for you to project truth and light. This is pure light. It was so easy. It just came out of him.
Yeah, and when and it resonated. If I'm not mistaken, the last I looked, that clip on X alone had over 8 million views. If I'm not mistaken,
Really?
correct me if
That's
I'm
really
correct
amazing.
me if I'm wrong, community members. But
Wow.
it went viral. Imagine if the media, the mainstream media, because if you really want to start finger pointing, we got to include the mainstream media. So much of this is your fault. Had you given Sliwa more of a platform, New Yorkers would be in a better place because they would have information. They would have known a long time ago, oh, we've had a sane choice all along. And it took this 11th hour mayoral debate in which you guys treated him like he was nothing when you should be venerating him in the sense of how he has given so much of his life to New York in that sense, not like idolizing him as a religious icon. I'm just talking about when we look upon New York and leadership, we don't have a lot of people in my recollection that I'm fond of. And when I think about they truly love New York, no, I feel like they truly love symbols. They truly love to enslave us in the mind. And here's what I think: their big money and mainstream media and the machine, they're afraid because the people want somebody that's more reflective of boots on the ground, more reflective, and is talking the language of real New Yorkers. So I'm sorry to say, mi gente, it's only gonna be Mamdani, and if it's up to us, Sliwa. So with that, I'd like to read one quote and then bring up John Paul, who is waiting backstage. I want to read something that Mike Solana posted. He said, I understand the impulse to blame the New York City mayoral disaster on Sliwa, but it's pretty wild to watch. I'm getting some backup, some noise. Okay. And Mark, I'm going to bring you up in a second. Let me just finish this quote. Okay. I understand the impulse to blame New York City mayoral disaster on Sliwa, but it's pretty wild to watch reasonable Democrats demand the only Republican in the race drop out so their disgraced former governor can beat the actual communists their own party elected in the primary. And this is posted earlier by Mike Solana. I'm going to bring up at this time Mark 4NY, who is one of our other co-hosts. Hello, Mark.
Going on,
Welcome.
Mark?
How's it going, fellow freedom-loving Americans? I think I got to put a parental guidance warning before I go into my little rant in a little bit. I don't know if you're ready for that, or if you.
Go for it.
I think we should do John Paul on the second. We'll do the TV show for the second half of the show for Brooklyn Free Speech. But all right, so I'm gonna wait till it's an even minute mark, so that way we know what to go back to. Cat Turd, 3.9 million followers on X. Cat Turd is a perfect name because you're a pussy piece of shit. Okay? I told you influencers to stop talking about New York City politics. You have no clue what you're talking about. After the debate, he reposted some MAGA moron saying that Curtis Lee was disqualified because he wouldn't coordinate with Trump if he sends the National Guard. First of all, I was listening to the debate live and I was praying that Curtis Lee would stay quiet for that. Because once again, you people don't know politics. Any association with Trump is death in New York City politics. There are people with TDS that might have a little bit of common sense and think, okay, crime is bad. Maybe give Sliwa a shot. I remember him from the Guardian Angels. There's a lot of Democrats that like Curtis Sliwa. Aside from that, Cuomo-sexuals, newsflash, Sliwa is not dropping out. So do not split the vote. There is no logical reason to be splitting the vote right now. Okay? You're falling for their bullshit. They want you to split the vote too. The Democrats are going to split the vote, so let's split the vote too. It makes absolutely no sense. The reality is, most Republicans are going to vote for Sliwa, and it's going to be a close race. And the Cuomo-sexuals are the ones who are going to ruin it. And you guys are like, "Oh, unfortunately, Cuomo is no." No, unfortunately, your mother took too much Tylenol when she was pregnant because you're fucking retarded. Okay? That's what's unfortunate. Stop falling for the bullshit. All these media lies saying that Sliwa doesn't have a chance. It's bullshit. They want you to split the vote. There are a lot of Democrats that are communists. Most of them are under 30 years old, under 25 years old even. There's plenty of Democrats who are over 30 years old who are not communists, and they're not going to vote for the communists. Yeah, they won the primary because the young people came out and they voted for the communists in the primary. The general election is going to have independents and other Democrats that are going to vote Cuomo. Let them split that vote. Take all of the Republican vote for Sliwa, some of the independents, some of the Democrats, and give Sliwa a fighting chance. Cuomo destroyed New York. It's the electric chair with Mamdani. It's lethal injection with Cuomo. The only person that could save New York City is Curtis Sliwa. So don't be freaking retarded and just vote for Sliwa. Give us a fighting chance for somebody that could actually fix New York. Thank you.
Woo! Technical knockout. Let's go, Mark. That was amazing.
Glad you appreciated it.
I
I
mean,
I
That was just a knockout.
I had to go freaking like Brooklyn on people now because it's New York City. Like I told you, influencers to stop talking about New York, but you want to do it anyway. And I was gonna catch her also attacking Thomas Massey. Like, take Trump's cock out of your mouth and speak for yourself. Okay.
Imagine people begging for the federal government to go into a state. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's against the Constitution. That shouldn't be happening. That shouldn't be happening. Okay?
Well,
Like,
first, and also, like, Cuomo didn't raise his hand either. So why is Sliwa the one that's disqualified when you talk about the National Guard coming in? Okay, and there's enough with the NYPD is like an army. Okay, and they would support Curtis Sliwa as mayor, and we would actually get back to NYPD doing their job. And there's enough of a police force; people will actually be recruited into the NYPD when you have a leader like Sliwa. But I went on my rant and I'll fall back a little bit. I'm obviously very passionate about it. I had to go Brooklyn on people right here because it's New York City and it's less than a week before early voting, people. Less than a week before early voting. We don't have much time left. We don't have time
stop
for games.
listening to the Cuomo sexuals. Stop it. Stop it. They're brain dead.